What is up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to discuss why your deep zones sometimes get beat on a press animation and other times they play just fine. But before we do that, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch me play Madden live, you guys can find me daily on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zan Madden. The link for the channel is below in the description, as is a link for my PayHip account, where I have my ebook bundle available for my single back wing tight U, wing tight, and wing tight Z hot route master offense, as well as my 3-4 bear comprehensive defense, where I break down how to stop the run, how I like to attack all the rollout corners, how I like to set up my coverages for coverage-based concepts. Very, very comprehensive defense. Both of those are available for a low price in that bundle. If you guys want one or the other, you guys can find me live daily on my Twitch channel, where I have those available as well. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's discussion. We're going to be talking about why sometimes your outside deep zones get beat for one-play scores. I get this question quite often when I'm streaming. I get this question quite often in the YouTube comments of some of the videos I've done. In particular, a lot of the cover 3 concepts. I'll get people that'll say, hey, Zan, you know, sometimes my guy is just getting beat down the sideline over the top. How are you making it so your guy doesn't get beat when you play zone coverage, but they're not playing cloud flats? So this is a question that I get literally daily. And I kind of figured I would go ahead and do a video on this, explaining how the press animations work in cover 3 when you're playing press coverage. So let's go ahead and get into it here. I'm just going to show you a 3-4 odd cover 3 sky. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press my coverage. Now, here is a little bit of a lesson on what routes actually get the beat press animation. In this example, I'm going to put the outside receiver on a streak. So you're going to see Willie Snead is going to be running a streak. And on the left side, or I'm sorry, the right side, I'm going to put Hollywood Brown on a fade. I want you to watch. So the first thing you notice is we get a whiff animation on the right, and we actually got a good press animation on the left. So what you can easily see out of this is that a fade route against a base, or not even a base line, but a pressed outside third zone will get a beat press animation, not even a press animation at all, for an easy one-play score. So this right here is a tip that you guys can use against any cover 3 press, where you're going to get this free release on a fade. He's going to get this little kind of it looks like a cloud flat jam, if we're being honest. Kind of gets this little baby jam, but there's no deep help over the top. So it's an easy lob out for the one-play score. Now, if I were to go back into that same replay menu and go over on this side where we had a traditional streak, I want you to look at the interaction right here. You get a nice little cover 3 press, kind of that inside shoulder, kind of pressing him and releasing him towards the sideline. That's a good animation. This is actually how some cover 3 press is taught IRL, where you get that jam and you're trying to you know, peek in at number 2 if there was a number 2 in the seam, and you're staying, you know, in the inside hip pocket, making it so they have to hit a throw outside shoulder over the top towards the sideline to really beat you. But you see that that press animation looks really good, right? So if we go back into this here, and I'm going to play that same press coverage on the outside, now we're to go with streaks on both sides. I want you to notice how both guys kind of get that jam, and actually the speed on the right side even gets beat after the jam right there. Possibly because Hollywood Brown is 98 speed and the player guarding him is really slow compared to him. But in general, it's the fades that tend to get the better releases. So if I were to put two fades right here, notice how they just both kind of get behind, and now all of a sudden Willie Snead is open for, you know, that lob. Click on potential one-play score. So anytime you're facing an outside third in press alignment, the fade ball is really the route that's going to get you wide open deep for the one-play score. So again, I'll show you fades on both sides. You see right here, actually got solid animations right there. They got pretty solid animations. But in general, the press animations are very unreliable. And that's why you guys have asked me this question over and over and over, is why are my guys getting beat in press coverage? And how come your guys stay on top of all of those, you know, all those streaks on the outside? How come you could play zone coverage in your 3-4 bear and you don't get beat over the top? So there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is obviously that I don't use a outside third against spread alignment. So if I were to face someone who came out in any type of outside receiver spread type set, and I'm playing press alignment on the outside, there's a 100% chance I am not using an outside third because I'm never going to take that risk. So I don't have the 3-4 bear here, but I'm going to choose, a cover 3 blitz defense. And these are for matching principles, right? So let's say that I was facing, a spread double flex or whatever, 2x2 spread. And I wanted to go ahead and within this coverage play the press alignment. Now we're still playing thirds, but this is match thirds. If my opponent were to go to those fades on the outside, you're going to notice how they basically, actually in this situation, they don't play press coverage. And why is that? So that's my segue that I'm going to take out of this. There are two reasons why sometimes outside thirds get beat and other times they don't. The first time that they don't is actually when you use outside quarter zones, because that's what I do. If I press and I'm worried about getting beat over the top for a one-play score, I take my outside players in my coverage. So if I were facing this formation and I was worried about getting beat over the top, I would take my outside thirds on both sides and I would take them to outside quarters. Now, in terms of how they play, it's not going to be that different. They do tend to give up in-breaking routes like post routes a little bit more consistently when they're playing a quarter or 25% of the deep field on the outside on the sideline, as opposed to a third, which is responsible for a third of the field deep, which means they would have to have a little bit more responsibility towards the middle of the field because they're covering a deeper percentage of the field being 1/3. So I go with the quarters because that basically says, hey, you're playing the sideline, and they don't tend to get beat deep over the top, even when you have a pretty good speed advantage. So if I were to do, streaks on the outside, Hollywood Brown actually does run right by him because he's like 15 or 16 plus speed. But even a guy like Joe Hayden is, in that hip pocket just a little bit. If I had 99 throw power, it's an easy touchdown. But if you guys are using this for MUT purposes, right, you're going to notice that the outside quarters don't get beat. So that's why I do that personally. But the other reason that your guys get beat is because there is kind of a numbers rule involved in your outside thirds. So I'm going to illustrate that. So when we ran this the first time and I pressed, notice that we're in a 2x2 set. If I were to send both those outside receivers vertical, I want you to watch how those outside thirds, again, we still have thirds on the field, play. They instantly get back. Now, of course, Hollywood is still way faster than Hayden, so he runs right by him. But you notice there's no jam animation. Now I'm going to play that same coverage again. So I'm going to put those streaks on the field, and I'm going to play that same press coverage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to motion Sneed across the formation. Now I'm in 1x3. 1x3. So meaning one receiver to the left, 3 receivers to the right. Actually, it's 1x4 here in this example because the running back counts as number 4 to the right side of the field. But when you have a solo receiver in no slot, that is where the backside third will then go back into playing press alignment. So I want you to watch here. If I were to go to the fade to Roberts, there's a chance he'll still keep up with him, but he's going to go to that jam alignment. You see how he jams him? That's where you open up yourself to getting beat over the top for the one-play scores. If they whiff or they get that little shove animation, that is where you hurt yourself. So if we go right back into that cover 3, now on this side, I'm going to go ahead and motion Boyle across. Now, the B receiver actually motioned in quite a bit. So I'm curious to see if they're going to play press on him, but we'll see. So right here, yep, he plays the press alignment. And actually right there, Hayden plays that wonderfully. But you see that he gets pressed, and that's where all of a sudden you get that jam animation that nobody wants to have their outside thirds play. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that if you have a solo receiver in a spread alignment against a pressed third, whether it's match or true cover 3 sky, they're going to do that jam animation, which is not something you want. Now to test this, just go ahead and choose. Let me go into concepts. I'm going to go over to passes, and I'm going to choose random deep pass. And I'm going to go into cover 3, and I'm just going to play press against every alignment. Okay, so look at this set. We have no slot receivers. We're in a pistol full house formation. I'm in cover 3 with press alignment. I'm going to send my outside receivers. I'm just going to max protect. Against this look, you're going to get double press animations. One on the left, one on the right. Jam, jam. Both guys actually release fine. They stay in the hip pocket, but because Hollywood's faster, he's able to get past Joe Hayden for the one-play score. Very, very simple. Now we go into the next play. If I were to go to the next play here, now all of a sudden we look at the offensive formation. We're in spread. We are in spread. So that means that I could trust my third on the left side to not press. But if my opponent were to send any one of these guys in motion and put him on a streak, now all of a sudden we're talking press on Hollywood Brown. So Roberts is not going to get open, wide open deep, but Hollywood Brown's going to get that jam animation. And again, we talk about the fades. They tend to get the better release animations. See, he gets that release animation. Now all of a sudden it's a lob for a touchdown. So because you only had one receiver to that side, that's why they're getting that, that animation. So you always have to be aware of not only what formation they come out in, but anytime they might motion, that could end up hurting you. So here in this example, single back wing tight pair, I think this is what this formation is called. We know that the solo receiver on the left is a problem. He's going to get that press animation. So he gets the press. There's a chance that he's going to win. Now right there, he doesn't. Guy plays it okay, but we still deliver a crossing route for an easy completion. So you can kind of tell how this is working here. Now you see you got doubles on the left and a solo to the right because there's no slot receiver. If I were to play my cover 3 alignment right here, and I were to have both receivers on the outside running a streak, the left side is not going to get pressed. The right side will. Because again, this tight end is not in the slot. And I'll try to illustrate that again. So you see there's the press on Willie Snead. I'm just going to throw that ball away. Now, you also can have motions that will make it so a guy won't press. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean here. So if I were to play the press alignment, we would expect, because there is no slot receiver, that both the guys would get the jam animation. Now, if I were to motion this tight end out, he becomes a slot receiver. Because he is a slot receiver, Hollywood Brown will not be pressed. Now, that doesn't mean that Hollywood won't run past Joe Hayden, but he will not press. You see right here how he tries to stay on top of it. Now he still gets beat, but obviously not pressed in that situation. The same thing could have been said if I were to motion to the left. That left receiver would not have been pressed. Now here's an example where we're in compression, so I'm just going to go ahead and respot the ball. This applies to spread sets only. So if I were to go ahead and be in this set, cover 3 press. If I were to motion anyone to the left out of this set, the running back, either of those slot receivers, you're going to get no press on either side. So now in this example, neither player would be pressed in your cover 3. So if you want to stay in your outside thirds, you can. You just have to be aware of the numbers game. So now we're in that press cover 3. Neither player on the outside running a streak should get pressed. Neither does. Doesn't mean you can't lob it over them, though. So that is why your outside thirds get pressed, and sometimes they don't. Now, again, guys, if you guys want to stay on a solo receiver and be in that press alignment, you don't want to risk this guy over here, Nelson, getting beat. But you want to stay pressed, you have to play the outside quarter. Play the outside quarter. That's going to allow you to at least try to stay on top of that route. Now, again, the speed still matters, but at least in this example, he's not going to play the press and get beat. And at least he can keep up with him a little bit better stride for stride down the field, even though Hollywood Brown's considerably faster. Now, another thing people have asked is, can we protect the sticks? So if we play our cover 3 here, we press Y, and then we hit left bumper for protect the sticks against these 2 streaks. Show you this here. They will also not press. So you can protect the sticks, but also keep in mind that when you protect the sticks, there's so many things that can happen. They tend to give up corner routes. They tend to give up all kinds of crazy stuff underneath of those deep zones. So while they really get back deep, there is risk of, corner routes and deeper out breaking routes or in breaking routes over the middle getting underneath of those zones because they tend to sag more. So that's kind of a risk that you have to consider when you play protect the sticks. But that's another way that you can press, play outside thirds, and not have to switch into quarters. So there you have it, guys. That is why your outside baseline press thirds, or your press thirds in general, whether it be match or sky coverage or buzz coverage, are getting beat off the line while they're pressing and whiffing at from time to time. And hopefully this video shines some light and helps you guys rectify those situations. There are ways to get around it, and hopefully the video that I just did here shows you many of those. So if you guys like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, make sure you guys drop those below. Really appreciate all the support. I do want to apologize for not posting over the weekend. I actually was building a brand new fence in my backyard along with a bunch of members of my family. So a couple days off, but coming back here strong today with this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with our next upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab, and good luck.